just how poignant and moving was it for you to actually read the script?
Oh, I mean, it was incredible. But before I even read it, I knew it was Anthony Hopkins and I knew it was Olivia Colman. So, because otherwise you read a thing like that, you think, yeah, but who's playing this? It's unbelievably moving, but also so tastefully written that, I can be moved by stuff that I know is kind of cloying and sentimental at the same time. This was none of those things. This was, a perfect script as far as I was concerned. They're very rare. Well, especially very rare to read them and think that you're being offered a part in them. Otherwise, it's just too painful. But it's a very, very moving, brilliant, funny, surprisingly funny script. As soon as even before I'd read the script, I had to stop myself from shouting, "I'll do it," into the phone. I still whispered it.
Yeah, play it cool.
Yeah, like pointlessly. Anthony Hopkins has always been one of my favorite actors. Olivia Colman's obviously amazing, and the whole cast. In fact, the process of filming it was one of the most straightforward, easiest, pleasant, fun work experiences I've ever had. We're filming the same place every day, eating the same place. We'd all sit and listen to stories or tell stories, and just with the actor, we'd all sit together and we just sit and make each other laugh and be silly and occasionally stop and do the scene. And no one made a big meal of their preparation or whatever. We all work in our own way. No one craps on about that, And then when we did the scenes, it just totally relaxed and real. I look forward to going to work every day. It felt the illusion of it feeling like I was in the right room, because if I'd thought too much about it, luckily when you're working with the right kind of people, you're not able to continue to be impressed because they won't let you be, And that's often my experience of working with great actors who are also great people, is that you have to rebuild your hero projection afterwards, in retrospect, because you can't project onto this person because they're too normal, and the scenes were remarkably easy in that way. And then you see the film and at the end of the job, I was like, that was Anthony Hopkins. That really nice guy who I hung out with, who I felt was like, working with on a kind of equal basis, fool that I am, which is the only way to work, I think. And then, of course, you see the film and just think, God, I'm a lucky boy.
Absolutely. And I was actually going to ask you, because there's so many emotional scenes in what feels like quite a small set space. So did you kind of get together or to lift the mood? Did you get to go out together? Or
the mood itself was very light, very easy, a lot of jokes, a lot of silliness, a lot of mucking around. And that's always the way, that's one of the delights, is the way I've always liked to work, is to keep myself relaxed. Obviously if you're doing it, you don't want to distract anyone from their work or whatever, but I don't think, in my experience, anything is helped by unpleasantness or heaviness or whatever, And it just seemed that naturally, Olivia seems very much the same way, that, you're not going to expend energy trying to make people laugh or anything. That's just a pain in the ass too, because that's a bit of an effort. But it was just a naturally very pleasant, fun, and easy. Because everyone, once we were in the scenes, we were in the scenes, and everyone worked their own private way, didn't make a great show of it. And it seemed that we were all pretty much on the same page that way. If the atmosphere suddenly became quiet in preparation for something, then you expected that. And if people were in the mood to tell stories and be silly just before a big scene, then that's what we did. And I find that actually being on the same page with each other, sharing the same atmosphere, is just as conducive, no matter what the atmosphere is, to working well together.
Yeah, and with your film and theatre background, how impressed were you with Florian's feature film debut, and his take on it all?
extraordinarily, because he'd never done it before, but he was he's a natural director, certainly naturally the kind of director that I would want to work with someone who has confidence in their casting. Well, for a start, I respect him enormously because he cast me. I just think, that's a good start as far as I'm concerned, especially if he also casts actors who I think are really good. That he casts well. He creates an atmosphere where you feel like you can come up with your interpretation. You're trusted. He's trusted you to come up with what he wants you to come up with before he tells you anything, and then leaves you alone unless he feels a little nudge here and there might help. The best directors don't direct too much. In my experience, sometimes a lot of over directing happens when people lack confidence and they're panicked about being a director. He seems to have the natural confidence of someone who's not trying to prove anything, and it was a perfect atmosphere for working as far as I was concerned. So I think, he's one of the best directors I've worked with.
Rufus Sewell, an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey,